This is an exclusive video of WOLnews.com.
Your title.
Chris Truby, Truby, and the manager here.
Just anyone fire in as far as questions. Don't worry about it.
How difficult is it after only a couple days to try and bring this team together and make it a team?
You know, I think that's the beauty of running a mini camp up here. I think where we don't have 60, 65 guys with the two clubs down in Florida, so we get a chance to at least, you know, introduce ourselves, introduce them to the professional game, to you know, see some things that you may not normally see, because you get a chance to see more individual stuff out here. So I mean, it's tough, but it's, you know, everybody goes through it. It's I think it's better this way than it is out there in Florida. So I think in that sense it's an advantage.
A lot of these kids, obviously, you haven't worked with before, just got drafted last week. Is it tough to kind of get an idea of what their capabilities are and what you need to work with?
Yeah, you know, I mean, in that sense, we rely on the scouts and the reports they give. And, you know, for me, this is kind of a fun part, too, because we don't know really what to expect, so you just let the kids go out and play. So it's a situation for them. They're excited to be in an organization. They're excited to be in pro ball. So for the first, especially few weeks, just let them go out there and play and see what they got, and give them some sort of guidance, but more or less just let them play. And you know, these guys are good players. Obviously, they got drafted for a reason. Many scouts saw them, and we've gotten good reports on these guys. So it's their opportunity just to play. Really, it's a no-pressure situation because we're not force-feeding them things. They're just playing the game.
Does it take a couple of weeks to kind of get a feel? I mean, obviously it's about player development at this point. You still want to win, too. Does it take a couple of weeks to figure out where things kind of fit in?
I mean, yeah, and the priority number one is player development, but you try to develop and win. And, you know, if you win, it makes it fun. But, you know, it takes some time just to see what kind of roles these guys fall into, because, you know, to be honest, we don't know yet, and they'll play themselves into the role. Everything will kind of work its way out within hopefully the first couple of weeks, and after that, once you get a grasp on what certain guys can do, certain guys can't do, then it allows you to maybe put them in a better situation to succeed.
Only 4 infielders on the roster.
As of now.
I mean, obviously that's going to change, but is that a concern at all going into Friday, or do you think things will kind of be figured out by Friday?
Things will work out, you know. With some, you know, we got some guys that haven't signed yet, and some other situations going on, but they'll work out, and I think we'll be fine in that area. Obviously, until you get your club, there's some concern, but I think more importantly, I know we got plenty of pitchers. So, and from my vantage point, that's the most important thing.
Talk about and get college kids. Some of them are coming right off the field, right into this situation. Some of them have a couple days, maybe weeks off. This is entirely new. Some of them come from big programs that have lots of funds, and then they come into this situation. How tough is it for your eyes, for them, in this adjustment period?
You know, I mean, for the first few weeks, it's kind of a settling into process for the players. You know, being that I think we've got a bunch of college seniors, so guys that have some experience playing the game. It's just, you know, it's a different level now. I don't think there's as much concern as there would be, say, in the guys coming out of high school or in that level. But, you know, these guys have played the game. They understand the game. It's just a matter of getting into the system and kind of understanding what we as affiliates try to, and how we operate and things we do. And, you know, again, that's why I think it's an advantage to have a mini camp up here where we can kind of focus on our own club that we have and make sure that everybody's in the right places, the right spots, and doing the right things. But these guys have played the game. They understand the game. They're come from good schools with good programs, so it's just about more or less introducing them to our way of doing things.
The field here is massive, especially going from an aluminum bat to a wooden bat.
Yeah.
And you mentioned mentioned pitching. That's obviously good for those guys, but at the same time, you know, what kind of things are you looking for from your pitchers? The grass is thick. I mean, there's all kinds of advantages for the pitchers.
You know, I think in this league, especially here, but really in the entire league, pitching and defense wins out. You don't see a whole lot of big power numbers that go through this league. I don't think we've got a whole lot of power. We've got some guys that can run a little bit. So I think the concern lies more so with catching the ball and the guys on the mound. So we've got some numbers and we've got some guys that we're excited about in terms of as far as the pitching goes. So, you know, all that stuff plays out and you know, hopefully we can find some, get these guys adjusted to the wood back as quick as we can and you know, then they can get rolling.
How closely did you watch the draft and say, that guy might be here, that guy might be here?
You have no idea. No, I mean, you know, obviously, as a manager, you're hoping that you know, every pick's a college pick, you know, and especially high. But you know, the guys that got drafted, the young guys, the high school kids, they're talented kids too. I mean, yeah, I wanted to get the best team possible here, obviously, but. And I think we've added some pieces. So again, we've got some, according to reports, some talented players, and they get a chance now just to go out there and play. And you know, it's an exciting time for these guys. I mean, they got drafted. They've had kind of a whirlwind over the last few days with physicals and getting in here. But you know, as much as I'm excited, they're 10 times as excited as I am.
Because a lot of these guys are college guys, is that less that you have to worry about these guys being on their own for the first time? Because most of them have been in college for 3 or 4 years.
No, that's a good point. And you know, most of these guys have been away from home, and you don't run into the homesick high school kid who's never been away, and that's a big thing to deal with. It's a big part of the adjustment coming into pro ball. I think a bigger adjustment for these guys is just the everyday grind of it, the playing every single day and not just the weekends. And knowing that I don't know exactly how many off days we got, but it's not very many. It's 3 or 4 off days, and it's about the grind. It's about getting your body in tune and going into hopefully making the adjustments through this year and going into next year knowing exactly what it takes to go through a full season.
What are your expectations then, kind of going into this season, even though you haven't really worked on this year?
You know, I mean, realistically, my expectation is these guys go out and have fun and play and get better. You know, and I think we have a solid staff here that has got a lot of experience that'll help these guys. And my whole goal is just to get these guys better than what they came in and get them ready for the next level, then the next level. So, you know, in terms of wins and losses, it's tough to predict, but you know, I know that these guys will have the resources to get better.
This was an exclusive video of WOLnews.com, your home for news, sports, video, photos, live talk shows, and more.